Welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Neeru Tandon, Professor Department of English, VSSD College, Kanpur. We are discussing paper on English language teaching. Here in this module, English language learning strategies, which has been written by Professor Omana Antony, we will discuss various techniques related with and the strategies related with language learning, specifically in respect with English language. What are the problems while learning English or teaching English in the classroom? What strategies we should take up as teachers while teaching in the classroom, or as learner, what are the strategies that a learner on his own can take up for learning English? So these are the things that we are going to discuss in this module. One who learns this content on English language learning strategies will be able to develop the ability to communicate effectively in formal as well as informal context, to update with the advancements in technology for language acquisition, specifically second language acquisition. Then to understand and apply the different strategies to acquire English language communication. In addition, to understand and explore the self-learning strategies in language acquisition as well, to research on further innovative strategies, and to acknowledge and make use of the skill of a language teacher in language acquisition. Now, whenever we discuss all these things, we find that whatever strategies, research and other procedures that we are discussing, of course they are really good for students, but the teachers who are going to take up their teaching work seriously, even they can be benefited by all these discussions. Whenever we talk about strategies, we must understand that there is first of all approaches of English language teaching. After approaches, we just consult methods. Within approaches, we have methods, and a narrower circle is of techniques or strategies or procedure, whatever we call them. Now, what is the basic thing that whenever we are discussing this small segment that is known as strategies or techniques or procedures, what we really mean that these are those techniques, those strategies that are being used in the classroom, in the actual situation, actually at the level of student and at the level when student and teacher they communicate. So this is the basic as well as the most important step, because researches are being done, of course methods are there. We can adopt any method, but that depends upon the teacher concerned, and that is the predetermined. That should be decided by the teacher before coming to the class. But these strategies, these techniques, they take shape when teacher is finally interacting with the students, or the student as self-learning is doing the learning part at home or on his own. So these are very, very important. Now we are here concerned with English language teaching, and English language we again and again say that we take up as second language for Indians. So whatever strategies we are going to discuss, they are for English as a second language. When it comes to English language proficiency, the most startling aspect is the difficulty of our professionals to teach communication and to communicate in English, though they excel in their academic and technical fields. In the present scenario, where India gives lot of importance to education, the different states of the country are competing to achieve the best educational status for their citizens. Having been a colonial country under the British, Indians are much aware of the significance of the English language. They feel that competency in this particular language in the personal, social, and professional domains of an individual is very, very important for his development. The awareness has given more preference for English education or education in English medium in India. As per the Indian education system, a student gets a minimum of 14 years and a maximum of 15 years exposure to English language by the time he or she completes higher secondary education. Apart from this, a good number of parents, they provide English medium education, or rather everyone is willing to provide English medium education to their children, where the child learns all the subjects except mother tongue in English. With all these advantages, the most startling aspect about Indian professionals is the finding of the poor communication skill in English. Now, why poor? And what kind of communication skills we can call that they are poor? When the teacher feels difficulty in achieving the goal. Okay, the teacher has given the syllabus, that these are the components, the grammar, the other components are there like writing skills and other things that he is supposed to teach. He may complete that, but how can one guarantee that after completing all these things from the teacher's point of view, learners is sufficiently fine or the proficient in all these things? How much given by teacher has been taken up by learner? Whether he is capable enough of just communicating that particular thing in various situations? Whether that particular student is well versed with all these things or not. So these are problems that come, and that is known as poor communication skill. If it is from the part of the teacher, then also, and if it is on the part of the student, then also the communication skills are not fine unless and until the goal is achieved, that communicator has communicated and the person who is the receiver has received and the goal is achieved. So Indian technical skills are most admired and wanted in the superpower. Like you see that our IITians are almost everywhere in the developed countries. And well-developed countries, they value the brain of Indian students as well. But those Indians, they lose their great opportunities sometimes if they feel or they are weak in English communication. In spite of having great knowledge, great scientific brain, their communication skills are not up to the mark. So they cannot clear those exams on the basis of which they are supposed to move out of this country or have just the experience in a developed country. A purely textbook oriented teaching and learning is not going to help. But the fact is, in most of the rural as well as some of the urban areas, we find in schools and also in colleges that the teaching is just the textbook oriented. Somewhere not even the textbook. The deplorable condition of the education is this thing, that they are just having those guides whose method or whose content is not even guaranteed that way. So they are taking help and it is examination oriented. They are just studying just to pass exam. So this is a deplorable situation that we are supposed to fight. Here the teacher's knowledge is confined to the textbook prescribed for that particular class, and the teacher makes the students also to be confined to the same framework. Again, a screening is done by the teacher by selecting specific topics or areas to train the students to score the maximum marks. This particular approach makes the students to look at English as a subject to score maximum marks in the exam by just mugging up at their best. Now, this problem is not limited to this point only. What are the reasons why teachers are doing like that, why students are doing like that? The first thing is that syllabus is such that it is so vast that it is not possible to complete the syllabus in the classroom within that limited time where so many holidays are there. Sometimes child is absent, sometimes teacher is not there, and whatever time they get together they get. So it is not possible to complete the syllabus. So what they do, just teach the syllabus, and that too after scanning. That these are the important for this year. Okay, go through that. So that way the process is not complete, the goal is not achieved. Another important point is bilingual approach. This is the most comfortable and effective approach used by both an average and a below average teacher in order to make the class successful. The teacher uses the mother tongue to explain each and everything in the prescribed English book. Here the student response and the classroom interaction will be highly remarkable because the students overcome the language barrier to a great extent and give expressions to their ideas in mother tongue. Now, teacher is teaching in the bilingual approach because when he teaches purely in English language, he or she finds students with the blank faces. They are neither understanding anything nor they try to understand. At the very first instance, they give up. That no, it is just going above my head, so I cannot understand anything. So better leave. I will just mug something and write down in the exam and will pass it. So what happens that the attendance in the class gradually starts decreasing as well. The students, they stop coming to classes. So in order to keep students glued in the classroom, teachers sometimes they just come down to the standard and they start translating those things in the native language of the student so that at least he should understand the content. Okay, the content has been communicated. Teacher has communicated the content and the receiver, in this case the student, has received it. But at the time of writing, at the time of reproducing, he cannot reproduce it in the mother tongue. He will have to write it in English language. At that time, what he does, he translates that thing. This translation process takes there only. Whatever he could understand, he tries to translate that and reproduce it that way. Something he mugged up, something he has. So that khichdi, that is of no use. And finally, just after giving exams, he tries to forget everything. Okay, move ahead. It's all over. So what happens? That the knowledge, the English teaching is at mar. English teaching is not, it has not achieved the goal that the learner is in the position to communicate well. So while taking up this approach of bilingual teaching, teachers are supposed to be very, very conscious. If it is must, then only they may take help of the native language, but only at the starting level. And gradually they should try to move to pure English so that this taking help from the native language, it should not become the habit. And by students will also try to understand and they will start reproducing and learning the language in the proper sense. Now, teacher is contented at the fact that the students are giving desired responses, at least in their mother tongue, clearly indicating that they have understood the fact. Language proficiency is acquired when a student starts thinking and then expressing in that particular language. In bilingual approach, the student is trained to think everything in mother tongue, and then those thoughts are translated to the foreign tongue as per the rules and norms of mother tongue. This results many semantic and syntactic errors which could not be avoided otherwise. Next point is, as I told earlier also, that the teaching and learning in the schools and colleges is purely exam oriented. Exam oriented teaching and learning is not the solution. A new language can be acquired only if it is used for the purpose of communication or in the daily day-to-day life. Since the curriculum insists on the completion of the syllabus within the stipulated time and the conduct of the exam, the teachers also rush through that path. Hence, the major focus is on a one-way approach. The teacher explains and dictates, and the student is to cram up whatever is given in the class. Previously, they used to dictate. At least while getting the dictation, students were there that they could listen also. At least their ears are being trained to listen English. But now, the printed material is being given as notes, and even teacher is not there to dictate, and the students are not there to listen. Hardly any teacher gives the opportunity for the student for creative expression. The latest curriculum very much insists on the creative expression by students, but how far the teacher succeeds in evaluating such innovative attempts, that is a very serious point to be pondered upon. If an individual has to acquire a new language, that person should be provided with the platform to use that language without any inhibition. Now let us come to defective evaluation system. Ultimately, the problem lies here. If teachers are teaching from the examination point of view, why? Because our evaluation system is such that it only gives you marks on the basis of whatever you are reproducing in your examination copies. It is an impossible feat for a teacher to evaluate the language development of a student in the most appropriate way. Language development is possible only when the student is given a platform for free expression, either in spoken or written form, or both. But in a classroom teaching and learning process, the teacher shows his or her knowledge of the language through meticulous correction of the student's expression. The student is eager to see whether his writings are decorated with red lines by the expert teacher or not. Actually, the teacher never thinks of the mental block or the fatal impact of this sort of evaluation, which will inflict on the creativity of the students. If it is the assessment of spoken English, the teacher cannot have the required patience to listen or analyze the effort of each and every student. Besides, the teachers tend to be selective in giving chance to the students. The ultimate result is again back to square one. Instead of acquiring a new language with all its skills, they learn it from the examination point of view. They discuss the past year papers, and then they just try to guess along with teacher what is going to come in this year's paper, what is so important. Even it happens as a teacher, we feel such a ridicule thing. We experience that when a student comes to you with a guess paper and says, "Ma'am, please tell me what is important out of this. What happened? Why? What he wants to learn? What a teacher wants to teach." Ultimately, this guidebook is going to decide the future of the student or the country? No, it should be discounted. It should be all the teachers it is their moral duty that their students should not just take up this approach for passing their exams. They should come up for learning. In addition to the above issues, there are a few common issues the students come across in a language class. They are like textbook based study. Now, what is supposed to be done? There is a textbook. This one is prescribed. Go through it, consult some notes, and that's it. Why we are not there to critically evaluate that book? Why we never tell the students to critically evaluate and write on your own whatever understanding you have of that particular text? Why only question answer kind of thing is there in the classroom? If it is there, then it should be disregarded. Then teachers' boring lectures. That is the complaint from the student's point of view. That the lecture is very boring. We don't enjoy it. So why should we go to classroom? And what we are going to learn out of it? So that's why all the teachers, they should not keep their teaching limited to the lecture only. Always the classroom should be interactive. The student must participate in whatever you are doing in the classroom in those 40-45 minutes. When a student is participating, he is getting encouragement for good things. He is just getting help for his weakness. Then the classroom will not be that boring. It is not necessary that only textbook should be taught in the classroom, especially in the language classroom. Language classroom, you can teach out of many things. You can teach them out of games, you can teach them out of videos, audios, even movies, even films. There are so many interesting ways. By adopting those ways, you can make your classroom interesting, and teachers and students both will enjoy this interactive classroom. Classroom, when it is confined to teaching and learning only, there is no personal interaction, then also the bond is not established between teacher and student. Other than teaching and learning, there should be something like discussing their future goal, guiding them for their future life, giving them some moral lessons. While teaching also you can do that. And whatever they will gain at this stage from you, they will always feel benefited by all these things. Then knowledge-based learning. We want to make them knowledgeable within those few clauses. How is it possible? First check what is their base. Whether they know the words, whether they understand the sentence construction, whether they are aware of the grammar, whether they are in the position to express something, or then give them thoughts, give them good books, make them sit and write and do whatever is required. So the base, the background is must to be consulted by the teacher. Rigid supervision of the teacher. Teacher handles all the students from one point of view. If it is a mixed ability class, a good teacher is one who just varies these things according to the level of the student. Boring assignments which are equivalent to rewriting. Either they cheat, they copy from some book or from some peer. That's of no use. Then poor accent and incorrect pronunciation. Teachers, they teach their course. They never take care whether the child is pronouncing the words correctly or not, whether their accent is fine, up to the tune or not. So that should also be taken care of to make them confident. If their accent is not proper, if their pronunciation is not good, then they will never ever feel confident to just express the knowledge they already have. stereotype letter writing, paragraph writing, whatever are there just as questions, we are just teaching those things only. No. If you want to make them translation, that they should come forward and do the translation, give them something in which they have interest. It's not necessary all the time the boring lectures only, boring things or moralistic paragraphs that they are supposed to translate. They can learn otherwise in an interesting manner also. In a language class, from the teacher, from the course. In fact, what do the students expect in a language class is never a thoughtful question. Technology has been a common tool in education. When we talk about technology, our focus is on how this technology can be utilized for teaching and learning English language. For this, both the teacher and the educationist should be aware of what the students' expectations are from the teacher or from the language itself. Any student in a language class normally and generally expect the following things, like freedom to learn on their own. Teacher should be there as a friend or as a helper or mostly as a guide. Guidance should be given through friendly approach. Too much of criticism is bad. Innovative teaching learning methodology should be adopted. Variety and useful topics that they can also have interest in them should be there. Activity-based learning is must. Useful oral activity so that whatever they have learned, they have the opportunity to express that or use that. Then proficiency in using the language. Now, when we talk about second language acquisition in the language classroom, there are certain factors that are supposed to be consulted. First is that it is teacher-assisted language acquisition. As discussed earlier, students can develop command over English language with the assistance of language teacher. Here the teacher will be a guide, facilitator or mentor to the students in enhancing the language proficiency. Following are the basic strategies a teacher can apply for the development of language skills in the students, like goal-oriented language teachers. The primary aim of an English teacher is to develop language proficiency among the students. Language proficiency is commonly defined as a person's ability to speak or perform in an acquired language. The English language teacher should be very clear about his or her goal as the language teacher. It is to help the learner acquire proficiency in the language. Everything that is required for this purpose should be provided or created by the teacher to generate language by the students. The language teacher should get totally out from the exam-oriented teaching of language. Next is well-designed curriculum for language acquisition. So, whosoever is making the syllabus is also responsible for whatever is happening in the classroom. Now, classrooms should be interactive. Teachers should work as facilitators. Teachers' communication competency should be up to the mark. Teachers should be as an encyclopedia, not only knowing the textbook but something more than that. And he should be a good communicator also. The appreciable criteria for a teacher of English language contains proficiency, effective reading skills, good accent, good subject knowledge. He should be able to develop the communication skills of these students and proficiency in using technology also. He should be tech savvy. Self-learning should not be avoided. That is another strategy that should be practiced. Personal liking of these students should be taken care of. Such students read and listen a lot in English without any outside compulsion. They do it because they like it. Such people will prefer to watch English movies and programs in English language. Teachers are just supposed to guide them about the right content. Self-motivation is also very, very important. that whatever they are doing, so English speaking programs, like they must have those questions for themselves. How is it possible? Is it need drive or not? As the old saying is, necessity is the mother of invention. If there is the need for them, so they will always remain motivated and try to learn this language at their best. Then the status demand, like we have already discussed in other modules, that the social pressure of learning English or communicating in English is must, and social pressure should be taken care of. It should be taken in a positive way, not in the negative way. Exposure to social networks, like youngsters, they are busy in blogs or WhatsApp or Facebook. It's not that bad also, because while interacting in that particular social media, they will use the language. Then they should have good reading habits so that they can feel confident as far as matter and manner are concerned. They can very well watch movies, cartoons and games where English language is used. Just teacher's role is to guide them about right kind of movies, right kind of cartoon films or games which can really help them. So, to sum up, we can say that language learning strategies should be adopted with utmost care by teachers, and it should be practiced very cautiously by students, so that the aim should be achieved, that they should learn English as a second language, and in their professional career as well there should not be any hindrance. Thank you for visiting EPG Pathshala.